Hello, welcome in to today's show. Hey, guess what? The Nashville Predators are going to the Stanley Cup Final. You can see I have on my Western Conference Champions t-shirt, and they will be playing against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Today, we have Jacob Stinson with us. He's in, and then he says, hey, here, I'll flip the camera around. There he is.
What's going on, Smashville? How y'all doing?
Yeah, and we have him. He runs the Twitter account Smashville Finals. So I believe the handle is at 501 Broadway.
Yes.
Is that correct? Yeah. So go follow him. Get his followers up. What number are you close to? I know you were shooting for a goal.
I think I'm about like 1330, so hitting like 1400 or 1500 by the end of the final would be
Sweet.
Amazing.
Yeah, let's get him there. Be sure to go follow him. Also, I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been watching. This channel has grown so much over the last couple weeks, and so thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching videos. The last one had over 1,000 views, and just for a small little channel, that means a ton. So thank you so much for that. And let's keep on growing this channel and getting it to an exciting point. All right, like I said before, the Preds are in the Stanley Cup Final. Now, this video would be happening no matter what, but it just so happens to be the Preds are in it, and that's super exciting. Jacob, just talk to me. What were your emotions like as those final seconds ticked off the clock in Game 6, and you just kind of realized, oh man, we are going to the Stanley Cup Final as the Nashville Predators? How'd that feel?
Dude, I mean, I can't express just the unbelievable feeling it was after Forsberg put in the empty netter to go up 5-3. I was just, my voice had been gone just from screaming, cheering the entire game. And I just took a moment to just take it all in, just try to, as best I could, just let it sink in that we were actually going to the Stanley Cup Final. It didn't sink in right away, but it was a feeling I couldn't explain into words. And just seeing everybody around me in my section, looking down in the lower bowl, just seeing everyone hugging everybody, cheering, screaming. Man, it was just a surreal feeling. And doing it on our home ice, like we did the first two rounds, and doing it again in round 3, just made it even sweeter. So I mean, it's just surreal that we're still playing today on Memorial Day. I mean, could you imagine this time when the season started, we'd be playing on Memorial Day?
It's insane.
About to play June hockey.
It's fantastic. Did you cry? Be honest. Did you cry?
I didn't cry, but I mean, I did get a little teary-eyed, I will admit.
Okay, yeah. There was at one point, and this is I don't cry easily, and it was like, I think as they were about to present the bowl to us, I just kind of sat back, like I fell back into my seat, and just like a couple tears just rolled down my face, and I was like, this is real, this is happening. It was super emotional. All right, from the Penguin side, did you watch? I'm assuming you watched the Game 7 between Pittsburgh and Ottawa.
So it's funny you brought that up. So I played church league softball on Thursday nights. So I was expecting not to be able to watch it, but thank goodness one of the players on our team had unlimited data, and we were streaming the game while we were not on the field. So I was able to watch bits and pieces as I was in the dugout. But I mean, that series was just as tight as it gets. So it was a
tremendous series. I loved that. Game 7 was one of the best games, if not, and speaking from an unbiased, just hockey fan standpoint, that Game 7 was unbelievable to watch. Like, the first period was dull, but then it started picking up, and it was like, man. I love the quote. Charles Barkley was on set at that NBA game, I guess with the Celtics and the Cavs, and he said, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going back to the hotel room to watch the hockey game because it's tied at 1. And I think that's hilarious, Yes. I don't even know what channel was. It TNT that he was probably on?
Yes.
They're probably like, no, stop! You're sending viewers over to NBCSN. But I mean, absolutely tremendous. I don't know. When I was watching that game, a lot of fans were saying we want Ottawa, and not very many were like we want Pittsburgh. But for me, I'm just sitting here. I'm like, we're in the Stanley Cup. Whoever you play, you beat them. Like, if you want to win the Stanley Cup, you have to beat somebody to win the Stanley Cup. And so if it's Pittsburgh, guess what? You're beating the defending Stanley Cup champion. How awesome is that? If it's Ottawa, you're beating the Canadian team, and that would have been a fun matchup as well. So what do you most look forward to in seeing this series between Nashville and Pittsburgh? What are you, what are going to be some highlights that you're looking forward to?
Ben, I'm in agreement with you. The whole Eastern Conference Finals series, once we advanced, everyone was like, "Oh, we need Ottawa, blah blah blah." Well, on my end, I was thinking to myself, wouldn't it be sweeter to beat the defending Stanley Cup champions like you brought up? I mean, doesn't that make it a little bit sweeter if we were to do that? Not to mention we'd be going up against one of probably the best player of our generation in Sidney Crosby and Evgeny Malkin.
Some would say Crosby's the best of all time if you would have placed him in Gretzky's day.
Yeah, we can sit here and do the hypothetical all day. So if you put him in the 80s, he would definitely score more goals. But I don't know if he'd be Gretzky level. But, it would be cool if they would have been able to play in the same generation or same era. But sadly, they weren't. So I'm just thinking to myself, now we got Crosby, now we got Malkin. They obviously have the advantage up the middle. He's probably alongside maybe Taves and Kane, which we shut him down. So why can't we shut down one of the best center duos in the league like we did in round one? So we got that to look forward to. And I think one of the most untalked about or not talked about topics going into the series is Jim Baselli. You remember Jim Baselli back 10 years ago trying to move us to Hamilton.
Yep.
Now fast forward 10 years ago, now he is the Pittsburgh Penguins owner.
Yep.
And we're facing them in the final. So how sweet would that be to get a little revenge on him here in this Stanley Cup final?
I love the amount of storylines that are in this final. Like, you don't really think about it, but there's that one. You even have, I think it's going to be fun to see Neil and Hornquist, because that they're not really going to go against each other, but definitely that they are both trying to outplay each other in this series, because, they weren't really straight up. We lost Spalling in that deal as well, but they were pretty much a straight up trade. Spalling went to Toronto like a couple months later after that. And then, of course, you have the biggest storyline, the one that is going to bring viewers into this Cup final is the PK Subban story, right? And I hate to be that way, and I hate to be generic like that, because, you look, they're using Subban to advertise for this thing, and why wouldn't they? He's a character. Yesterday at Media Day, he was the star of the show. I mean, hands down, he was hilarious. When he was interviewing Ryan Ellis, I was rolling laughing. I mean, it was absolutely fantastic. Mike Fisher as well. Subban is this character, and I didn't get the chance. I was at worship yesterday morning and then busy throughout the day, so I did not get the chance to watch the thing on ESPN about Subban. But some clips I saw just makes me think, man, I'm grateful this guy is in Nashville. I'm grateful that we have a player like this who is such a superstar, is such a league guy. And it's really a blessing to this franchise for him to be here. Think about this, and this is going to sound so petty, but how great would it be, and you can weigh in on this, for if Nashville to win the Stanley Cup, which I think that you have most Montreal people are rooting for Subban to win it, and I think you have most Toronto people, most Canadians are saying we want PK to win, especially in the Eastern Canadian hemisphere. To have Subban get to lift that cup the year after getting traded to Nashville, overcoming all odds, and then taking the cup back to Montreal and marching down the main streets of Montreal with that cup. How much of a slap in the face? And would you like seeing that, or would that kind of frustrate you?
I would love to see it, obviously. And I was able to see the E60 special yesterday. Me and my dad recorded it. Whenever we got home from church, we went and watch it together. And one of the things they pointed to was the fact that he is a larger-than-life character. He is easily the first black superstar this league has seen in its history. And the NHL's been a very structured league. They're not over the history of the league. They haven't really liked people to have a big ego or a big personality on the ice. And Subban has transcended that, and he has come into this league. He came into the league in, I think, 2008 as a rookie, and he started right off as a rookie with that same ego, and he hasn't changed since. And they pointed to the fact that, we all think Montreal, like if you're in Montreal right now and when that trade happened, you know how the fans reacted there. They could not fathom the fact that they would trade away their superstar, the guy that, donated all the money to their children's hospital, has done a lot of philanthropic work in that area, not to mention his play on the ice. He had a couple run-ins with the coaching staff. He's gotten a couple fights at practice. We know all about that, but he was still a superstar. Everyone in Montreal knew him. And then all of a sudden, they trade him away to Nashville. And here we are, not even a full year later, and he is pretty much sending a message to all of Montreal right now saying, hey, you want to get rid of me? Well, I'll go to Nashville and I'll make it to the Stanley Cup Final and may even beat the defending Stanley Cup champions, get my first ring. So, this is an amazing storyline. I'm with you. This alongside the Jim Baselli thing, I feel like are the two biggest storylines in the series. And that they had people come in like John Scott in the E60 saying, "Oh, PK Subban's a scumbag," blah blah blah. Well, with a personality like that, you're going to get people to hate on you. They're going to say, "Hey, you're cocky. Hey, you don't respect the game or whatnot." But I feel like a guy like PK Subban brings viewers into this league. Casual fans are going to want to watch a guy like PK Subban.
Exactly.
So I am so alongside you on the fact that I'm glad we have Subban. Yeah, I thank Weber for all the years he gave us as our captain. He was a great player, great for the city, but I feel like Subban is going to pay even more dividends like he already has, getting us farther than we ever have this year, and hopefully we'll end it with a cup coming down Broadway. And maybe he'll take it to Montreal too, just rub it in a little bit.
Oh yeah. Let's talk goaltending for a minute. You have Pekka Rinne. Everyone knows he's been playing great. What is it? He has a 9.41 through the first 3 rounds. Unbelievable, phenomenal, historical performance by Rinne. On the other side, though, you had Marc-Andre Fleury, who you sort of felt like, okay, Pittsburgh is happy with him, but the second they lost, the second they got blown out, it was like, okay, now we get to put our starter back in. You're not ever going to take out the guy who single-handedly pretty much beats Washington for you. But then again, you have your starter. You have the guy who won you the cup last year. Matt Murray comes into the game, or comes into this series, and has been playing lights out. Absolutely phenomenal. I think that he made some big saves in that Game 7. That kept Pittsburgh in it. Just like Anderson made some huge saves in that Game 7 to keep Ottawa in it. But, Henderson didn't win the game. He couldn't make the save when it counted, and Murray could. And so Murray, here he is, a young, officially a rookie, which, how is he not? I don't mean to be like this because you have Austin Matthews and Patrick Laine, but Matt Murray is a rookie. Do we realize that? Calder? This guy has won a Stanley Cup before he was a rookie, and now he is back to the Stanley Cup as a rookie. This is unbelievable. What do you see? Who do you give the goaltending edge to in this series? Or is the edge not even worth talking about because they've both been so good?
I can't really give edge to either side. Honestly, put yourself in Mike Sullivan's shoes with having arguably, it's probably not even discussing. He's got the best 1-2 punch at goal in the league right now. And imagine putting yourself in the shoes of Murray or Fleury going into a playoff game, knowing that if you have one bad game, Mike Sullivan's gonna be like, hey, we're gonna put the other guy in. So that's a great problem for him to have. But looking at Pekka's side, he has gone through these whole playoffs and not missed a beat, with the exception of maybe Game 2 against Anaheim was probably his only obvious bad game. So Rinne has just been the backbone of Nashville all postseason, and you throw Murray in, who just started his first game in the Ottawa series, and he comes in and doesn't miss a beat either. So I really don't know who to give the edge to right now. Obviously, I don't think Matt Murray would be a Conn Smythe nominee just for the simple fact he hasn't played most of the postseason like Rinne. I think Rinne, if he takes Nashville to the Stanley Cup, I don't think it will be discussed. He'll be the Conn Smythe winner. But I feel like we may see Murray and Fleury in the series if Murray has a bad game early. So I'm really interested to see if they do ride Murray after, say, Nashville goes and puts up 4 on him and then they pull him for Fleury for a game. Does Fleury start the next one? I don't know. So that'll be an interesting thing to look out for through this duration of the series.
It'll be fun to watch. All right. What do you think? How many games do you think this series is going to go to? You don't have to say a winner. Just how many games do you think it's going?
I hate to be the, hey, it's going 7 guy, but I feel like I have to say that. I mean, these teams are so evenly matched. You know, Nashville's got the decided advantage at the defensive position with, as Chris Kudin said after the game, they have 4 Eric Carlsons. And then Pittsburgh's just beast at the center position. Goaltending's almost even. I think you might give a little edge to Nashville at the wing position. So, I mean, I think this series is going 7. I really do. I think we'll be playing a Game 7 here in about 2 weeks back in Pittsburgh. I hope it ends. Hope the Predators win in 6 or 4 in Nashville, or even 5 for that matter. But I feel like it's going 7. I really do. This Nashville team is due for a Game 7.
Wow, yeah. I see it going to 6, but I think it's going to be a close 6 with several overtimes. Maybe 3 or 4 overtimes. I think it's going to be exciting. I think it's going to be extremely fun. I'm looking forward to it. But like you said, it's so evenly matched. I don't want to call a winner. You said the line by Kunitz about the 4 Eric Carlsons, and I think Malkin may have said it yesterday as well at Media Day. I was watching a preview that Steve Dangle did. He's a Sportsnet writer, for those of you who don't know. And he was talking, he brought up that Nashville has Subban and Ellis and Ekholm and Yossi, and just started talking. Like, when you start realizing how good those guys are, and when he was going through it, I literally started laughing. Because that top 4, I mean, this is going to sound really cocky to say, that top 4, put any 2 of those together. Like, maybe put Yossi and Ekholm, or Ellis and Subban. Subban, you know, Ellis, Ekholm, Subban, Yossi. Put those, any pair of them on any team in the league, and almost every single team, you're going to have them be your top pairing. Now, I mean, of course, there are exceptions. Like, you send 2 of them to Ottawa, guess what? Carlson's going to be on your top pairing because Carlson's unbelievable. You send one to San Jose, Burns is going to be on your top pairing because he's unbelievable. But, you know, eventually, I'm sure Doughty and LA as well, you know, but these top 4 defensemen are nothing like this league has ever seen. We seriously have 4 top 2 defensemen, and it's unreal. And I think that's going to be the real difference maker in this series. I think, you know, treat them like Chicago, right?
Let me throw out one stat for you now that we're talking about our defensive core. I saw a stat, I think Michael Gallagher and I think a couple others tweeted it out. In 296 minutes of Subban and Ekholm playing against Chicago, St. Louis, and Anaheim's top lines in this playoffs, they've given up 5 goals in 296 minutes of ice time. Just let that sink in for a second.
People have given Subban flack this playoffs for not producing offensively. Well, one, he has been producing offensively with assists. Look at Game 2 against St. Louis. Or Game 1 against St. Louis, my bad. He went off. I'm sorry. Subban has been a shutdown defenseman. Like, he is not the spotlight that he's, you know, the scoring spotlight, but he is doing his job and defending so well. And it's been fun to watch, man. It's been fun to watch. Alrighty, we're going to wrap this up. Thank you so much for joining us. Jacob, it's always a pleasure to get to talk some hockey with you and have you join the show. Thanks
for having me.
Yeah, definitely. We thank you all for watching. If you like this video, subscribe. If you are not yet subscribed, we'd love to have you on the Big Orange Friday channel. More stuff to come from here. Thank you, everyone. Have a good day, and you know what? Go Preds. Let's get us a cup.
Go Preds. Yeah, baby.